For those of you who may not have met me during class, my name is Ryan. I'm now finishing up my second year at the university and am pursuing middle year education. Even though this is now my second year of university being completed, I have received zero information on curriculums and how educators use them. So I would describe my understanding of a curriculum as the common sense idea. I thought it was just a set of rules that the teacher had to follow through and follow it throughout the year, with little to no room for adjustments, or even the teacher to create their own lesson plans. I felt that everything was mapped out from the start to finish, and honestly that idea did disappoint me. I also thought that it was something the government makes on its own, with their own outcomes and goals in mind for the students. I was happy to find out that many of the ideas of curriculum that I had wasn't how things actually were. I now realize that the curriculum is more of a guideline that the teachers use to build their lessons around. And yes, it does have a set of desired outcomes for the students. The way that they are achieved really seem to be up to the teacher, and more or so based on their judgment. One of my personal favorite things I learned about the curriculum is that there isn't only one. There's formal curriculum, which is usually what everyone thinks of when they bring up the idea of curriculum, which covers everything from experiences, outcomes, assessments, and resources that are required. The quote-unquote common sense idea of what a curriculum is. Then there is a hidden curriculum, which are things that we learn that aren't really intended, such as lining up, maintaining personal space. Many of these things are our social behaviors, and usually teaching that is right and wrong in our society. Then there is curriculum as place, which is how an environment teaches things. This includes things like religion, family history, politics, and economy. This will really vary depending on the student's own home life and how they interact with the world around them. I like to think of this being tied to the hidden curriculum because they both affect a person without them really being aware. Then there is a null curriculum, which was one of the most interesting things to me, which is simply what a school doesn't teach, a withholding of information in some cases. I think being made aware of all the different ways a student learns during their day will help me as a teacher prepare for supporting and probably often correcting information that they are gathering. It also really shows that things that we are not intending to teach will also affect our students. This can be things like my attitude, problem-solving abilities, and simple behavior that I am displaying in front of them. They will often mimic, and they will bring that home with them in their everyday life. I also learned about the 4 different ways to teach curriculum. There is curriculum as a syllabus to be transmitted, curriculum as product, curriculum as process, and curriculum as praxis. I personally was definitely grown up with the curriculum as product mentality. Every teacher I ever had only talked about the end goal of life, and that was getting a good job with a good paycheck, and then you retire. It was kind of a bleak way of teaching children, but that's what I had to live with. I also learned a bit more about how a formal curriculum is made. A large majority of the curriculum is decided upon teachers, government officials, textbook companies, and even regular companies and corporate heads who have interests in people knowing a certain set of skills. But there is also input from other people, such as parents, professors, and quote-unquote experts, community members, and the organizations that they might be in, and even student feedback. Knowing that so many minds go into making a curriculum is really quite impressive, and hopefully makes a better curriculum. I was very happy to be taught more about how the curriculum is being updated and changed to include more treaty education and First Nation ways of knowing. The importance of teaching youth and how the treaties affect all of us is very important. I hope it will help erase some of the racist, preconceived ideas that many people, especially in our community, have towards First Nation people. Some of these thoughts are, oh, they get everything for free, or they don't have to pay taxes. They get free land and they still complain. Destroying these racist ideas early will definitely lead to a better generation. Having a classroom that uses Indigenous ways of knowing will be a bigger benefit to all students. Some of these strategies are learning outside, community activities, guest speakers, etc. I feel like I have learned a lot from this class. I have more knowledge about the complexity of a curriculum and the importance of what and how is being taught. Knowing that the curriculum is nothing to be afraid of, but rather a tool that can take this weight of everything I need to teach off my back really makes me feel more confident. Even my idea of common sense has been changed for the better. Common sense, to me, used to be such a universal idea, but now it really depends on who you are talking to, because their idea of common sense will not be the same as mine. And through our class discussions in seminar, I feel more capable of handling hard-hitting issues, such as kids who may have 2 dads, 2 moms, no parents, live with their grandparents, and things like sexual diversity and religious diversity, and even how to deal with racism in the classroom, and sadly sometimes even death. These were the things I was worried about when thinking of becoming a teacher. I didn't know if I was mentally ready to handle that task, but now I feel able. I feel, of course, it will be a challenge, but I do feel more confident to tackle that challenge. This knowledge that I gained will be very valuable to me when becoming a teacher, and I feel this class gave me the tools to be the best teacher I can be.